Hey guys, let's go over the Unit 6 Statistics Study Guide. So slide 2, we're going to use this frequency table over here. So first question is, how many students weighed 70 pounds or less? So here is 70 pounds. We want the ones less than that. So that's these, 2 plus 3, which is 5. Okay. Next question, what percent of students weighed 81 to 90 pounds? So that's 8 kids out of, I need to figure out how many total. So 8 plus 2 is 10, 7 plus 3 is also 10, so 8 out of 20. I know that's a fraction, but now we're going to change it to a percent. So remember, percent is out of 100. And then I can cross multiply and divide. So I'm going to do 8 times 100, which is 800, divided by 20. Remember, you can use your calculator. So 800 divided by 20 is 40. So 40% of the students. Next, what fraction of the students weighed from 71 to 91 pounds? Okay, I feel like it should just say 90. So from 71 to 90 pounds is right here. That's 7 plus 8, so 15 out of the 20 students. And let's simplify that. So 15 and 20 are both divisible by 5. I'm going to divide top and bottom, and I get 3/4. So 3/4 of the students. What is the attribute? Remember, the attribute is what is this whole graph or chart about? This is about students' weight. So that is our attribute, students' weight. What's the unit of measurement? Right here, it's measured in pounds. So pounds is our unit. Our means, remember, means is what tool you would use to measure that thing. So how would we measure weight? How would we measure pounds? We would measure it using a scale. And finally, our number of observations. Remember, that's how many total that we observed. So it's not just 4, because there's 4 categories. It's how many people total. We did that already right here when we were finding out that there were 20 people altogether. Add up your observations. All right, slide 3, now we have a histogram. First thing I like to do before I do anything else with a histogram is write my numbers on here. So I have 10, 12, 10, and 4. That should make the rest of this a little bit easier. So how many people spent 10 minutes or more on hold? So here's 10 minutes or more would be these. 10 plus 4, which is 14. So 14 people. Next, how many people spent less than 5 minutes on hold? Here's 5 minutes. Less than 5 is 10. Okay. How many people were surveyed? So this is the same thing as your observations. How many total observations? So we got to add this up. 10 plus 12 is 22. So 10 plus 12 plus 10 plus 4, 22, 32, 36 total observations. What fraction in simplest form of the people waited 5 to 9 minutes? So 5 to 9 is right here. It's 12 out of the 36 total. We do want to simplify it. So 12 and 36 are both divisible by 12, which means this is 1/3. How many people spent 4 minutes on hold? Exactly 4 minutes. Remember, this is giving us ranges, so it doesn't tell us specific amounts of minutes. So this is unknown. We cannot tell how many people were exactly 4 minutes. How many more minutes were spent from 10 to 14 than 20 to 24? So 10 to 14 was 10 people. 20 to 24 was 4 people. How many more? So we're going to subtract and get 6. All right, slide 4, we have our dot plot. So how many people have fewer than 4 pets? Here's 4 pets. Fewer is over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, each of those dots counts as a person or a piece of data. So 9 dots that were less than 4. What percent of the people surveyed have 0 pets? So there's 2 people. I'm going to start with a fraction. Out of the total, so how many total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 total, so 2 out of 10 but I want a percent, which is out of 100. Remember, we can cross multiply. 2 times 100 is 200. Divide by the denominator, so divide by 10, which gives me 20%. 20% of the students. Let's see, how many observations are shown in the dot plot? We just did this. How many total dots were there? There were 10 total. Remember, it's not these numbers, it's not up to 7, it's each piece of data. Each dot represents a piece of data. What fraction of the people shown have one pet? So there was 4 dots over the 1 out of 10 total. And let's just simplify that. They're both divisible by 2, which gives me 2/5 is my answer. Okay, now let's do our mean. So for mean, remember, we're going to add all these up. So I'm going to go ahead and list out my data. Well, I'll save that for the next step. Remember, I did give you a helpful hint before that you could add the dots and like write the number above it, just so you don't have to keep repeatedly adding on your calculator and maybe mess it up. So since there's 2 dots on 0, this is worth 0. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 ones, so that's 4. 2 2s, 2 times 2 is 4. There's a 3 and there's a 7, and then I can just add those. So 7 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4, that is 18. Divided by how many dots there are, right? How many pieces of data. So you add up all your numbers, divide by how many there were. There were 10. 18 divided by 10 gives me 1.8 as my mean. Okay. Now for median, this is when I'm going to list all my numbers out. So remember, each of those dots represents the number that it's above. So I have 0, 0, there's 2 zeros, then there's 4 ones, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2 2s, so 2, 2, a 3, and a 7. So now I can cross them off, remember, from the outsides until you get to the middle. Cross those off, those 2, those 2. I have 2 numbers in the middle. So a couple ways to do this. You can think what's right in between these 2, or you can add the 2 numbers together and divide by 2. Or if they happen to be the same number like this is, then that is the answer. So our median is 1. Mode, remember, is the one that's repeated the most often. On a dot plot, it's really easy to see because it's the tallest tower. So 1 is where we had the most dots. So 1 is our mode. Our range, remember, is our biggest minus our smallest. So our biggest number was 7, smallest was 0. 7 minus 0 is 7. And our outlier, remember, outlier is the number that doesn't quite fit in with all the rest of the data. So all the data is down here, and we've got this 7 floating down there, right? So 7 is our outlier. He didn't quite fit in with the others. Now let's look at the box plot. So what is the upper extreme? Remember, it's extremely upper, it's extremely big, so that is down here at 100. That's your upper extreme. Where is your lower extreme? Extremely low down here. Our lowest point is 65. Where is our upper quartile? The outside of the box right here, 90. Our lower quartile, which is here, the outside of the box down below, 70. Okay, our inner quartile range, remember, it's the range of the box, so from here to here. So 90 minus 70, the range of the box is 20. What is the median? Remember, median is your middle, so the middle line here in the box, which is at 80. And then finally, they're asking us about percentages. Remember, the really important thing about box plots is that each of these sections is 25%. So if I take all these pieces, this is 25, this is 25, this is 25, this is 25. Each of this is 25%. So if they're going from 80 to 100, here's 80 to 100, that's 2 pieces of the data, 25 plus 25, which is 50% of our data.